Greetings, Masandawana. We're back with yet another preview, and this time we bring you the preview of our away trip to TS Galaxy as we travel to Mpumalanga on Tuesday. Ne?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. How are you, Raps?
Ke mnate Veron wena.
Hey, ke a bona wa bososela mona o shapa ka smile se tloa mo se fitla mona. Why do you look so happy?
Man, man, beating Kaizer Chiefs, man, always, man, I can't describe what we did. Shit. Like doing a double against Kaizer Chiefs, kidile mo say so, like and like I don't have words to express my mood currently.
Yeah, no. Like I said in the preview that you couldn't do with me against in my story. That's one game. 3 points doesn't matter. What matters is breaking rights, to be honest. And yeah, we own those rights right now. Before we start this preview, man, I just want to make an apology. On the comments, like on the comment section, yeah, the videos that we upload as well as more Twitter quite a lot of people have been suggesting, or it would be nice if we were to shoot at the same place. And to be honest, would love nothing more than that to shoot at the same place, perhaps, because what it does, it improves the quality, yeah, the content, more so the picture quality, yeah, the content, you know. But it's beyond our control. For shooter so in different locations because I mean Gauteng and Raps is in the Free State. So yeah, we do try at times to shoot the really true, but it's really really difficult. You know, if the distance wasn't that much, I would make efforts for shoot the really true, but there's Ntoyami Sebesi and like there's like 9 to 5 and then you knock off, you have to shoot and all that. So apologies for that, guys. We'd really, really love to shoot at the same location, but it's difficult, honestly. It's really difficult. So hopefully you understand the reason behind that. But yeah, let's get into our game week 19 preview ups. Like I said, we're traveling to Mpumalanga to take on TX Galaxy, one of the few teams that have beaten us this season. What have you made of their season so far?
I think they're having a poor season. They have the experience. They have the coach who has decent qualifications. I'm expecting more from them, more especially because of the owner also invest in the team. So they should be doing better than they are doing currently. And this is the second round of the league. Every team is fighting for something. Others they are fighting to get out of the relegation. Others they are fighting to maintain their spot in the top 8. Others they are fighting to get a spot and play in the continental tournament. So it's going to be tough for them in the second round of the league. But we will speak about their numbers as we go forward, their statistics.
Yeah, no, I've been really surprised and disappointed at how this team has performed this season. It's funny that you mentioned qualifications because that guy's qualifications are mentioned quite a lot, their coach. And he was there from last season. He's had ample time to prepare this team. He had a preseason with this team, and to be honest, they have quite a decent, not even a decent squad. They have a good squad for their level, you know. So it's really been surprising what they just can't put numbers under their points column, you know. So yeah, it's really been one of those more so when you look at how they started the season. So you'd have thought this season they'd be pushing, you know, they'd be one of the teams up there, you know. The one thing that this guy has done in recent weeks that has really puzzled me, Raps, is playing double pivot, yeah, Mbunjana le Parker. Do you see Parker as a midfielder?
No, definitely no. He doesn't have the characteristics of a midfielder, more especially when they don't have the position. He lacks awareness in the middle field. He lacks the anticipation and he can't read the game. When you're a middle fielder, you have to run, even if the action or the ball is not close to you. Parker only gets active when the ball gets closer to him. And usually most of the time he becomes seconds late, and that gives the advantage to the attacking team. So I think going forward, yes, he offers them something, but in terms of the defensive work that Ubas does when he partners with Mbujane, I Paka now honestly I'd move him to compete with Kima Kola as a 10.
I honestly think that you actually right. I think he can do the job more in that position as a 10, but more double pivot thing. I've been really shocked. And more so when you look at uh, 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 taba ya Mothusi Obas. Yeah, let's jump into that. Mothusi Obas le Ntole Mfano Teto have not been starting. At times they're not even making the match day squad in recent weeks, which has been really surprising. And you look at Teto, that boy is quality. He has them. He's their top when it comes to assist. He's had the most in that team, as low as it is, 2 assists this season, but he's their main guy when it comes to assist. And then you talk about Obas. Obas is a brilliant player. So I've been wondering, are there issues in that team in terms of issues between the coach and the players? Because for me, it doesn't make sense for Obas not to be starting. It honestly doesn't make sense. And Letetor at times is not even on the bench. Your thoughts on that?
Look, I think in South Africa, once a certain player is linked to another team, or there are rumors that a team is showing interest in a player, we know that that player, there are chances that he won't make it to the 18-man squad, or he won't be a regular like before. So I think there are teams that are eyeing on those two players, hence they are being benched. Because of in the first season, more especially in the early stages of the league, they were their best players on the pitch. So it
Mm.
doesn't make sense your best players on the pitch, they don't make it into the starting lineup. So I think there's something happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, it honestly baffles me that those guys are not playing, man. They are top class players, man. And let's move on to the numbers. That one. They are currently 12th on the league. They've played 17 games. They've only won 3, drawing 10, and then losing 4. Their goals for 8. The goals against again 9, and then the goal difference they won again -1. They are on 19 points, and then their points per game is 1.12. Those are not good numbers. The only thing good about that is the goals considered.
Yeah, no, it shows they are very a difficult team to score against. And if they won at least 2 games out of those 10 draws, I think they would have had about 24 points or 23. And that means it gets them inside the top 8. Because of if you look at the teams that are on position 6, 7, 8, teams tse they are there ka di-points it's about 23, 24. So they're playing too many draws. I think if they can try and get a couple of wins here and there, I think they can go a step higher.
True. It's funny how every season there's always a team in the PSL that even didn't totally draw for that season, like draw masters or whatever. Let's move on to talking about the strengths of their weakness, as well as how we think they will approach this game. I think when it comes to strengths, Sabona, they the organization Yabona is really great as a team. They set up very well, and then that means they have in terms of defending, they're very good. I mean, I think they are number 3 in terms of the least number of goals conceded. And then, like I mentioned earlier on, they have good individual players who, on their day, can turn it on and win game for Bona, like we saw in the first round of the league, how they beat us. And then weakness one, they very blunt up front, man. They blunt. Their top goal scorer Traore is only on 3 goals. We are approaching 20 games now, so that's terrible. They are the only team that's that's still on single figures in terms of goals scored. They've only scored 8 goals. Everyone else is on double figures. So it's they average 0.47 goals per game, which is very poor. So that's what I think kills them. And then I don't think this goalkeeper, Kolak, is a really good goalkeeper. I think he has a very good defense that protects him. But if you bypass that defense, you'll definitely he's easy to beat. I think Buchele is a brilliant goalkeeper, and I think he's out injured. How do I think they're going to approach this game? I think they would use transition like almost every other team that we play in the PSL. And look, goal that they scored, it was on transition when they beat us 1-0. The other thing that they try to do is they play the ball to Traore up top. He's a big boy. He holds it and then he waits for Kola, Kimang Mungai, Sibelebele to come and assist him. So I think that's how they will try and attack us. Ne? And then Mungai, Sibelebele, they very quick guys who try and find him. The cross. At times they over hit the cross but that's what they try and do. Your side?
Yeah, no, I think Buthelezi has done very well, more especially in the first round of the league. He kept the clean sheet and he saved the team some difficult points. You spoke about their defense. I think Senoka and Simango, they are one of the two central defenders who are disciplined and they love to play it safe. Hence, they don't make mistakes where a team gets to punish them. And you spoke about I spoke about Mbunjan as well. Mbunjan, I think he protects the defenders very well. He covers a lot of space, and also in possession, he helps the team in terms of advancing with the ball and pushing forward. He's also good at finding players in their positions with good passes. They have Tola Mlam, who's a brilliant player, but he now plays in an advanced position. And I think as much as he's slow and he won't get you goals, let's say number 10, but he'll offer you good combination plays on the final third. And his intelligence and abilities, I think they can get something out of that. I think if he continue to combine very well with their number 9 Traore and their wingers, I think they can get something. But I'm worried, Tore, as much as he's good, he's intelligent, but they need goals. They need someone that will help them and get in the score sheet. And I think Golamlango is not the right guy. But in terms of the creativity and the intelligence, I think he's good in that position.
True. Tola is a brilliant player. Man. Hey, I will never forget that game, that final. Funny enough, we're playing at the same stadium against Vets, that perennial dragon. You know, I hardly ever watch games at Sundowns. I will watch a game over and over again at times. That game I only watched that day, and that was the last time I watched it. It's funny you mentioned uh, discipline when you were talking about
Sonoka Simango.
Sinogam. Was it last season where he got 2 or 3 red cards, or was it early this season? I can't remember. So clearly they've worked on that. Let's move to Sundowns, Raps. I want us to touch on something. I ignored this. It had been going on for quite some time now, and I've tried to ignore it as much as possible. But it's getting to my nerves, and I think it's time we discuss it. A lot has been said about how we spend and how it affects the league and a whole lot of hogwash in gym. Your thoughts on that? Because for me, it's funny that a few years ago, money didn't buy success. Suddenly, money now buys success. Yes, we can't run away from the fact that our technical team gets most of the players that they want. We can't run away from that. But what some of these coaches are saying is undermining the work done by our technical team, the work done by these players who work their socks off. You know, when Coach Hulani, when he said he's the hardest working coach in the league, no one can dispute that. That's a fact. that's the same with the players for Sundowns. Those guys are some of the hardest working players in the league, and it ticks me off for it. Now people look at how we spend as if in the past suspended so we spent Stoichkov, all these coaches. We never there were windows where we would buy some of the top players in the league, but at the end of the season, we'd have nothing to show for it. Suddenly, now that we're dominating because of this guy's hard work and all and dedication, no, money is an issue now. Your thoughts on that?
I think the supporters and the coaches in the PSL, they don't want to give our technical team the credit that they deserve. Yes, we are spending, but we are not the only team that spends. There are certain teams that buys a lot of midfielders and a lot of center forwards, but the media is quiet. And I want to make a good example. Bloemfontein Celtics had Neo Maema and Kabelo Dlamini. Between those two, at Bloemfontein Celtics, Kabelo Dlamini was ahead of Maema and was the more best player compared to Maema at Celtics. He arrives at Sundowns. Kabelo Dlamini goes to Orlando Pirates. Currently, who is the best player between the two? Simply Neo Maema. So they have to give the credit to our coaching department and stop making lame excuses, stop money this, money that. Like kind of what about Stoichkov and Bohabas, Nerlata Bombe Suma bo Europe, bo se so resume Europe, Relata bo Timan Dario Monteri, Basa next. But no, we are signing good players. Suddenly they speak about the money and they want financial fair play. So like, but yeah, they will still have chest pains going forward. This is only the beginning.
Well, you know the example that you used, perfect, great example. But Daji is coming for you. That's his boy. Kabelo is Daji's boy. He's coming for you.
I'll buy him a bottle of whiskey, then he'll be quiet.
Yeah, Raps, at the end of the game, our last game against Kaizer Chiefs, Coach Hulani, not that he was not pleased or anything, but there was something that he was not like really happy with, ne? And he said he's going to talk to the players. He alluded the fact that there was no like total control, which is something that we spoke about the Maestro when we previewed game here Chiefs. He said the game was too open. Do you think what do you think is causing this? Where we don't seem to be 100%. Yes, we can never be in total control of the game, but in the game, Naki won't have more gaming ya super sport, or we're not like in total control like we normally are. Do you think this is caused by anxiety at these records? They are in the players' minds. So, we need to keep this record. We need to break this record at this game. Because this takes me back to last season. We had gone for so long without conceding. But after a few games, you picked up, or no, man, we're not playing the way we're playing, and look like we're too worried about not conceding. So, what are your thoughts on that subject? Yeah, control the game.
I think yes, it can be anxiety, like you have said, but I think a fatigue in the later stages of the game, Leona, it contributes to that. But I would say some teams, they come with a certain approach in the start of the game. But once they concede, they have to chase the equalizer. So that means they will up their intensity, they will bring fresh legs, and fresh legs, they can have an impact in the team. So I think yes, anxiety. I think also the fresh legs and the increased tempo from the opposition, and also the fatigue in the later stages of the league. Because of if you look at our fixtures, we played a lot of games within a short space of time, and some of the players, like you can see, towards the end of the game, like there's a lack of concentrations, and there are lazy passes, not because of the player can't pass, because of they're passing on how khathetse I wanna passing like I'm khathetse. And I think, speaking about controlling the game, I think a guy like Mbule and Blesser around minute 65, I think they can offer us control. We know that Bless is good in terms of collecting the ball and moving the ball to other players. And we know as well as Mbule is good at controlling the tip of the game, slowing the game down, and throwing the opponents to us. Once the opponents get closer, we use the space behind. So I think we need to look at that and find solutions as soon as possible, because of we are still going to play a lot of games. And I think this thing of not controlling the game in the last stages of the game is still going to happen going forward, but we need to find solutions, because of Santa Cruz game there's still Nedbank, there's still the CAF Champions League. That means we are going to travel a lot. So I think we need solutions as soon as possible.
And the team, to be honest, they're playing really well. Like,
Yeah,
I'm happy. The thing is, you can't be good at everything at the same time. There are instances where we'll struggle. There are instances where we'll be just okay. There are instances where we'll just be a marvel to watch, you know. But the most important thing is that come at the final whistle, Sundowns has the W. That's the most important thing. Let's talk about how we beat these guys. In our last game, Coach Hulani said something, and yeah, let's take a listen to what he said with regards to how they approach the game.
They're a very complicated side and well coached. There's a there's a Italian way of defending that is Arrigo Sacchi and them. They in the past they employed what you call catenaccio. Catenaccio is when you have auxiliary or spare fullbacks, and you create that when you have, for an example, a Sidat that sits very close to a Sanoka, and then a Marx that sits very close to Msimango. But then the wide areas are covered by, especially Mbata on the one side, not so much Teto.
Yeah, having listened to that, Raps, how do we break this catenaccio?
I think it will start from our build up. I think if we have proper build up and we eliminate their forwards, it will force their second line, which is the middle field, to react to danger. And when you react to danger, sometimes you have to move from your position to cover another player, and it opens up a space where we can capitalize. And mentioning that King, that word, the Italian word that you used,
Catenaccio.
yeah, it requires tight marking so that you nullify the attack of the opponent. And with tight marking, that means there's a high pressure, let's say in a certain area, it can be on the left. So what we should do, we should move the ball from areas where there's pressure to non-pressure areas. It can be by quick 1-2s to escape that catenaccio, or it can be by playing a diagonal ball. Because of an advantage about catenaccio is that the opposition, they always have an extra man in defense, and that player now is referred as a sweeper, where he picks up loose balls, and also he starts or organize the attack. So we also have to ensure that that sweeper, he doesn't get free, there should be always someone so that he can't afford to pick up the loose balls or he can't afford to start the attack because of the attack of this system usually starts from behind. And another part I want to add is that Catanaccio creates counter attacks situations for the team. Hence, we considered from that situation from a corner, then they move the ball into our half very fast and they got a goal. So there will be a lot of long passes from Chess Galaxy. It can be a 40-meter pass or a 30-meter pass. So we have to cut those passes and we have to react fast. If it means we have to foul the player before he makes a pass, we have to do that within the player before the player make that forward pass.
Yo, yeah, I know you've said a lot of good points and you said a mouthful, eh? I think the best way to break this Catenaccio is having players who are very good in tight spaces, players who can play the 1-2 in very tight spaces because there will be a lot of congestion, I think, in their zone 2 and their zone 5 as well. Then, and because, excuse me, uh, like Coach Wilani said, the right the right back gets close to the right center back. The left center back gets close to the left back. So, and then the wingers back cover space where you normally expect the full back to be. So there'll be a lot of congestion. And then on top of that, you'll have, because we'll put them under pressure, you're going to have Mbonjana Le just in front of that defense. So that area is going to be very, very tight. I don't think with works in this system because they overload basically. So I think their zone 2 and zone 5, which is our zone 14, that's where we're going to need to create a lot of spaces. We need players to find spaces in between the lines. So for me, this system requires a lot of creative players, the 10. Hence, I wouldn't start Shalulile because Shalulile, in terms of monate ka ball or adale 1-2, he's not as good as Maidula. With that, I'm not saying Maidula is better than Shalulile. I know someone's gonna say I said Maidula is better. No, I am saying in those tight spaces, Cassius, umonate ka di 1-2. So hence I would start him as well as the 10 in this game so that I'm able to break these guys central. And then another thing that I've picked up, or they are left, Modlalang, Kimamfano,
Yeah.
yeah, is not as strong as their right. So I think we need to target their left to try and break them because Kamole Max he's very good right there. So I think that left side that might be their weaker side that we can get something out of it. Let's go to the lineup. Perhaps, do you think there should be a couple of changes? Because I think we need to rest some players in this game. I think there are players who need to not because of performance, but because these games are a lot. Playing Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, it's going to take it. So we need to manage these guys. And then now I've made a couple of changes. And yeah, I don't know. Do you want to start first? Do you want to go first?
Okay, no problem. I'll keep Ronwen. I'll keep my fullbacks, Mondau and Diva. I would rest Toby in this game. I think Toby has played a lot of games. I would replace him with Roshin the Rook. I don't know whether Jali is game ready or not,
Hey,
there's a lot happening. So I'd play Blesser in Tebza's position. Then I would have Mbule and Miami in front of him. Then up front, I would have Sereno, Mailula, and Peter.
okay. We have a similar midfield three, but just different in positions. Because I have the same back five: Williams, Mudauke, Kana, De Rook, and Mudibane. But I would play. I get Coach Gulani said he sees Sipo as a six,
Yeah,
and yeah, I would give Sipo a run, more than 16, and rest Debs. And because I think we're going to have a lot of possession. Sipo is very good, man. He sees picture gaming faster and different to most of players. He's smart. He's a genius. So I would give him a run more. I get why now you have him at 8 and not 6. Ne? Now I would have him at 6 and Blesser at 8. So I'd have Sipo, Blesser, and Neo. And then at the tip of the diamond, I would play the legend Shika. I would keep Shika, and then have Keisha Gaston as my part of my attack, because I think that thing, the tennis thing, like it comes like playing in tight spaces. Gaston, Meilula, Zwan, and Miami. I think they can definitely break that Catenaccio over. So, yeah, prediction.
I think we'll win 2-0. I don't see us conceding in this game. So I think we'll score 2 and keep a clean sheet.
Hey, when at the beginning of this game block, you said we won't concede more
Mhm.
than you don't see us conceding more than 3 goals. Hey, I know I'm seeing it this way. Hey, yeah, uh, I think we'll win 2-0. Think they'll shut shop. They'll shut kind of that barking Catanaccio, the chain on the door, something like that. Yeah, they're gonna have a chain on that door,
Yeah,
but we'll break that chain, get a goal, and now they have to play, and then they will open a game, and then we'll kill off the game, and that's winning. Who's scoring?
I think uh, Miami will score, and I think Shalulile will get a goal.
I know he's on a purple patch. Eh? He's finding the net, man. Yeah, may it long continue. Like I always say, I predict a Keshia's goal, and I think Charlie will get the second one. And yeah, that's that Masanda. That's another preview at the yellow corner. You will see us again. I think on Friday we're playing Saturday, ne? We're playing Truth, ne?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's another one. It's like meaning, hey, because we why is I take 5? Ulali he. Lala no solos na ulali he. Again, nigga, into your info.
Sundowns know how to deal with those coaches, and the best way to shut them up is to beat them inside the pitch. So, talk sharp and with ease.
Cheers, Masanda Wana. You'll see us next week. Mdogi, sharp, sharp.
Sharp, sharp, everyone.